You are a college student, and whether it's your first time or you're nearing the end like me, finals can be a bit stressful. But you're probably thinking, it's okay, I have so much time, we haven't even gotten to Thanksgiving yet. And that's true, but it's never too early to start coming up with a finals season preparedness studying plan. So I'm going to start out with a couple of general tips on what you can do to make sure that you destroy all of your finals. And then I'm going to break it up into whether it's a test or whether it's an essay/presentation. And also, if you don't know me, my name is Jasmine McCoy. I go to Harvard University. I am a senior on the pre-med track studying molecular and cellular biology with a secondary in African American studies and a citation in Spanish. So let's get into those general tips. Relax. You're already watching this video on how to prepare for final season, and then once it's over, you'll get your own work study plan together. Stressing is not going to help you study more effectively, increase your mental health, or for that matter, increase your physical health. The best thing that you can do is acknowledge the fact that final season is coming, and then use that acknowledgement to motivate you to work, to study, to practice, to write, whatever it is that you need to do. You don't want to let its looming arrival to just crush your spirit and your motivation. At Harvard, we have something called reading period. It's 5 days of no classes. This is a time where the school tells you, okay, get yourself together, study, write, practice, do whatever it is you need to do, because the final season, the finals period, comes after that 5-day break. Other colleges and universities, they probably call it a different thing, but take advantage of that. That is the school doing their part to help you out as the student. Personally, what I do is I take that first day to relax, rest, and recharge. Remember I said, relax. I just get a good night's sleep, maybe exercise, watch some Netflix, listen to music. That is what I do on my first day, and then the rest of the days are when I am getting my good work done. Start early. Cramming is not going to help you get what you want out of your finals. You need to have repeated exposure of a concept in order for it to sink in. You need time to write a good argument using the resources from the class. You need time to practice what it is that you're going to present, time to get your slides together if you're going to present, and you just don't want to rush yourself. Hold yourself accountable. And the way that I do this is I use Google Calendar. Google Calendar has the 15-minute little time slots, so I fill that in with what it was that I was doing or what I planned to do. An hour of reading for this class, 15 minutes writing the discussion post for this class. Go over the review lecture slides for another class, and then rest for 30 minutes. That is how I keep myself accountable. So at the end of the day, I can look at my Google Calendar to see, was it a productive work day? Did I get what I needed to do done? And also, if you have, 18 lectures to get through, you're going to want to cut those lectures up into different days because you don't want to just sit there and do 18 lectures in one day. That's not fun. And you also don't want to sit there and write, you might, I personally wouldn't, 5 pages in a day. Personally, that's a bit much for me, but if it's okay for you, you do you. This is your final season, and I'm just giving some tips. You want to be able to give your brain some other kind of stimulus that isn't your chemistry practice problems, some other kind of stimulus that isn't African American history from the slave trade to the Civil War. Those are just examples. You want to give your brain something else to work on when you are preparing for final season. It also just feels good. And you want to make sure that, again, your rest, your relaxation, your break is something that is well deserved. So that's another reason why I use the Google Calendar 15-minute block system. That way I can see, oh, I've been working for 2.5 hours. Now I can take a 30-minute break. So in total, relax, start early, hold yourself accountable, and take breaks. Those are my general tips, and now I'm going to get into testing. Again, relax. This is just a piece of paper. It's not anything to be afraid of. You've taken so many tests beforehand to get to this point where you are in college now. So just think of it as another test, another exam. Okay, you can do this. You've proven that you can do this through the other exams that have taken you up to this point in your life. What you want to do when you're studying, especially for a college final exam, is you want to study the concepts of the class that the questions are testing you on. I am not saying that you want to memorize how to solve a question correctly. That's not what we're doing here. You want to be able to understand what the question is testing you on, what the concept is that it's testing you on. Because in college classes, they want to see if you can apply what it is that they've taught you. Not, are you good at memorizing? They want to see, do you really understand what a derivative is? Do you really understand what this theory is? Do you really understand how to code this application? Or they want to see if you can be a problem solver, because that's what it is to be an adult. You solve problems. That pretty much is what every job is there in the world for. Go to the review sessions. Go to the office hours, go to your teaching fellow. It is in your best interest to spend time with the people that wrote the exam. That just sounds like a good idea. But then there's also the fact that you get to ask questions. And don't be afraid to ask bold questions like, are the practice problems going to be representative of the real exam? Or is this cumulative? Because that's a very important question. Do you need to remember all of the stuff that you did 3 months ago to be able to apply those for this exam? Or is it just the stuff that you've been doing for the past month? Very important question. Asking, in comparison to the midterm exams, how is the final exam going to look? Is it going to be the same difficulty? Is it going to be longer? What about it is different to make this exam the final? And you shouldn't be afraid to ask these kinds of questions, because this is your education. It's your education, and you want to make sure that you're getting the most out of it, but also that when you're studying, you're not wasting time on something that isn't going to appear on the test, or wasting your time with problems that are lower difficulty than what's going to end up on the exam. By going to the review sessions, office hours, going to have meetings with your teaching fellows, that gives you the opportunity to get those questions out of the way. That way you're spending your study time more effectively. When studying for your final exam, you want to make sure that you are working your brain up to being able to focus on that specific topic for however long the test is. If the physics test is 3 hours, then you don't want to be, at least the days before, in the days before the exam, you don't want to just be doing physics in 1 hour bursts. You need to make sure that you have the mental stamina in order to finish the exam. You don't want the test to be the first time where you are experiencing doing physics for 3 hours. And also you just want to make sure that a way of doing that is making sure that you take the practice exam under test-like conditions without any stopping. So at least for me, I do that the 2 days before, because typically they give you 2 practice exams. So the 2 days before the real exam, I'm taking those practice exams, grading them, and correcting whatever it is that I messed up on, to make sure that when it comes to the real test day, that time, stamina, that is not any kind of issue. Know the format of the test. That way you can get an idea of what the point distribution is. I'm pretty sure it would be something similar to what you've already done with the midterms of your class. And this is going to help you be able to know where should you spend your time. Maybe you're better at the short answer. Maybe you're better at the multiple choice. Whatever it is that you do not want to get to a point where there's 30 minutes left and you still have 5 short answer questions left. That might be okay for you, or maybe for this class, the short answers take 10 minutes. You never know. But whatever it is, you don't want to get to a point where you're running out of time and you're losing points because you haven't even gotten the chance to look at the question. When there's a chance, maybe you knew how to do that. So you want to budget your time effectively. And then when it's finally time to take the exam, you want to have confidence in what it is that you have done leading up. You want to work quickly, but also don't make stupid mistakes. You want to trust what it is that you've done, to not second guess yourself, but also make sure that you're writing what you mean and you mean what you write. Asking yourself, does this answer make sense? Is this answer plausible? Does my application that I'm writing for computer science, does it compound? I don't know anything about CS, that might not be the right word, but I'm trying to make it helpful for you all. You want to be confident in what it is that you've done. You want to know that you know what you know. Because if you know that you know what you know, then you will be able to easily show that to the teaching fellows and the professor that you did your work this semester. So relax, go to any of the test prep that's offered. Be timely with your test taking. Make sure that your mental stamina is up to par and have confidence that you will be victorious. By now, it shouldn't be surprising that my next tip is to relax. Start off with some affirmations. I am a good writer. I am a good public speaker. We can do this together. It's okay. Don't feel awkward that you're doing this alone in your bedroom at night or whenever it is that you're watching this video. It's okay. I can communicate my ideas effectively. I can argue my thesis. And I know how to engage my audience with a creative presentation. These are things that you want to do to just bring your stress level down and affirm that you know what you're doing and that your essay or your presentation will be fantastic. If your teacher is offering to look at a draft, then you need to at the very least, come with an outline. That outline should have your thesis, a couple of topic sentences, maybe the sources that you want to use. But if you can do more than that, do more than that. Come in with pages written. That way you can get an accurate idea of how it is that you're doing and where it is that you need to go, how you need to improve, or just keep doing what you're doing. When a professor gives you that option, it's almost like getting a grade check, almost, not a vibe check, a grade check of how it is that you're doing. And to get the most accurate one, you want to come in with as much done as possible. For your presentation, whether it has to be some Google Slides or whether it's a podcast that you have to do, you need to make sure that what you're doing stands out among the other, 15, 20 presentations that are also going to be done by the other classmates. You want to make sure that yours stands out, has a little razzle dazzle, because if it can stand out creatively, if it can stand out positively also, then you're going to get a better grade, because it's just going to have a better rosy retrospect when the TF is grading, when the professor is grading, and you don't want the audience to be unengaged. You want them to be ready to go and eager to listen to what it is that you have to share, because also this is your brainchild. This is something that you are creating and you want to be proud of it. Practice. If you're like me, you're at home, you won't be going anywhere. So you need to practice in front of your computer, practice looking at the little camera hole, practice clicking through your slides, practice making sure that you have everything set up. If you have some video or audio, make sure that it's going to work. That way on the day of, you're not sitting there like, there's supposed to be X, Y, and Z here. I'm not sure why it's working. You want to be smooth and practiced. Also, it allows you to make sure that you're meeting the time minimum or under the time maximum, because you don't want to miss that on the day of. That is one of the easiest things to make sure that you're reaching. Now, this one, you cannot forget to edit and cite your sources. Those are the two most important things with essays and presentations. After you have done all of your work, you want to make sure that you give credit to those that helped you, to those whose work you are using to supplement, bolster, and support whatever it is that you're doing. Also, if you don't want to turn something in like your essay and recognize that you missed the L in black, which I did, I was so mad. I was so mad. It's okay, I recognized my mistake and I was able to submit it again before the deadline. Yes, that's also why we submit early. And you don't want to be in the middle of your presentation and you recognize that there's a word misspelled on the slide. But also, if there is, don't say anything, just keep going. Just keep going. We already see it and we don't need to hear you say something. Or if they don't see it, then they don't want to hear you say something about the misspelled word on the page. Just keep going, just smooth. And with citing your sources, it's just good practice for the scholarly community that you are part of by being a college student. With these, you want to make sure that you're relaxing, that you are going to see the professor to have them check up on your work. You want to make sure that whatever it is that you create for your presentation, that it's creative and engaging. You want to cite your sources and you want to edit. And those are all of the things that I have. As you can tell, it is sunrise, so golden hour, skin is popping. I look really good. I hope that you enjoyed this video on how to be successful with your college finals. There is a lot going on between the pandemic, elections, all that kind of stuff, and this does not have to be one other thing on your list of things to stress about. I hope that you can use the tips in this video to help you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.